Well, welcome to Hamilton County TV and the Gilbert Show. Welcome, Coach.
Hi, Perry. Hi, everybody.
Coach, another big victory for the Rocks this past week against the Fishers Tigers, and now we're down to one more regular season game before the playoffs start.
Yeah,
so let's talk
fast.
a little bit about that Fishers game and some of the positive things that came out of that game.
I was very proud of our kids. I thought we had a good week of practice, and I felt like we were ready. You know, sometimes you practice well, you don't play well, and vice versa. But I really thought our guys had a great week of practice and then just executed the game plan really well. I was really proud. Defensively, you know, we were excellent. We had one interception. We struggled to get some takeaways, but Micah Hauser had a pick at the end of the half. But our, like our varsity defense gave up 0 points. You can't do much better than that. So I was really excited. We had a situation where we turned them away in the red zone after they had a great kickoff return into our territory, and we gave up no points there. I thought that was outstanding. Offensively, we were on it. Maximus was his usual self. He's completing like 73% on the year. That's amazing. I think we were explosive about 1 out of every 5 plays, 22%, 15 yards or more. And I just really felt like Micah Hauser ran probably the best as he has all year. So he averaged 14 yards a carry on 10 carries. Didn't really play in the second half a whole lot, but I was excited to watch him run the football and our guys up front get it done. The last thing I would say is it may be the best perimeter blocking we've had here. And I don't say those kinds of things very often, but Gabe Arambolis on the inside with Nick DePasquale, and then on the outside Ian Bruck and Jackson Wasserstrom, those guys blocked their butts off, and I was really pleased.
Yeah, and the one thing about it is, coaches, if you take a look at last year's stats and then compare them to this year's, it's been a lot different because your defense has really been playing well, and you've been fortunate enough that Maximus Webster has not had to run the ball. I mean, he's capable of doing it, and everybody knows he can. But this season, you haven't had to have him run the ball a lot.
Yeah.
And like you said, Mike is really running the ball really well right now.
Yeah, I think we're starting to hit our stride at the right time. I do. I feel pretty good about all that. Stats look different. We've just run a lot less offensive plays this year, really. We've had the ball less time in possession. We score faster. Our defense has given up less explosives, but we've by a lot, and less points by a lot. But we have essentially been on the field a little more defensively because we're keeping the ball in front of us and tackling and so forth and so on. But it's been great. I think our special teams have been awesome. I just think like I said, we're coming together, hitting our stride at the right time.
Yeah, because like you talk all the time, all 3 phases of the game is very, very important, and you've always been special teams have been a pretty good special teams. Sometimes in the past, maybe your defense has not been as good as some of the past teams, but man, it's all clicking right now.
Yeah, we're getting better. You don't want to peak early, right?
Right.
I always laugh and say, well, that's what coaches say in the beginning of the year when they get beat, like we did week 1.
Yeah.
But I think we're getting healthier, and roles have been cemented a little more, and you learn your team, you learn your personnel. That takes a little while. We play a lot of kids here, and we, sometimes it takes a little bit longer to figure out how to use a certain guy, and we really try to be a players, formations, plays type of team where whatever we do is really based on the kids and the talent we have and how to best use them versus forcing a square peg into a round hole and asking a guy to do something he's not good at. Well, that takes a little bit of time sometimes to figure out what you have, and I think by this time of year you should know, and I think we know.
Coach, one thing kind of off, talking about the Fishers game and then coming up as Franklin Central, but I wanted to make one comment. Is one of the things I saw this past weekend was your championship Saturday, where you're youth sports. Youth football teams had their
Yeah.
championships, and many of the pictures that were on social media had Coach Jay Gilbert with the teams. And,
Sure.
that part of the football program is very, very important to you, right?
It is, yeah. When I was a college coach, I just really missed that. You know, that's probably my favorite part is just the overall development of a kid from a boy to a young man, and just being able to be a part of that in any way, and football being a shared experience that we have as a kid grows up. I mean, these guys who are seniors, I vividly remember them when they were little, and I feel like I've known Will Strom his entire life, and Micah Hauser, and I've seen Alex Wolf get 1 million interceptions. I remember Maximus Webster when he came, and getting to know him. I just all these guys. Zach Williams, the moment he showed up, or Dalen Blanding. I just remember all these guys from being little kids, and that's a part I really like, and so I enjoy spending time with the kids in our youth program. Our youth program's doing great. You know, numbers are extremely healthy. But this past Saturday was the end of our regular season for our guys, and so we always bring them over to the high school fields instead of Grand Park and make a big to-do about it, and it's pretty exciting for those guys, and exciting for me. I like it too.
Yeah, I wanted to touch on that a little bit because, one of the comments you made earlier in the year and in one of your shows talking about, we need to be a complete program. I mean, we've had successes, but we've also had down years, and those top echelon teams like a Center Grove or like a Carmel, I mean, they don't have down years, and that's what you're striving for, and that's one of the things that is very important is those youth programs and those middle school programs.
Yeah, I think we're trying to build an empire, and
right.
Again, I don't want us to just have a good team every few years. We've done some things that very few teams have accomplished. We've been to state 3 times in 8 years. That's great. Hopefully we go back again. But I think our kids work hard enough that we want every kid to have that experience. Right now, any kid that started here when we came and were hired, every single kid that started and finished with us we've gone to state during their time in high school at least once. And I would love to continue that for all these youth kids coming.
Yeah, that's a good goal to have, right?
Yeah, pretty tough, but we're going to try.
Well, Coach, let's talk a little bit about Franklin Central, because you still have one game left here in the regular season before we start the playoffs, which is a brand new season and always fun. But you still got a tall task this week going on the road. Franklin Central, traveling down there, going around 465, and battling that of traffic and trying to plan out everything. Well, let's talk a little bit about Franklin Central, because Franklin Central is rolling right along at 4-4 right now, 3-3 in the conference. I mean, I think everybody who was close to the Hoosier Crossroad Conference knew that they were going to be better.
Right.
They're probably better than I anticipated.
They're better than we expected, no doubt about it. They're well coached. Jason West is a great football coach. They've got a moose at running back. Yeah. Waiting for that kid to graduate. He's hard to bring down, hard to tackle. They're a power football team offensively, but they can throw it out to the perimeter too on some screens and things like that. So they make you defend it all. But their bread and butter is really power running. Defensively, they're pretty multiple and adjusting, but they try to outnumber the box and outnumber the run, and they're a stacked defense, and they got a lot of guys in there, and they try to put one more in than what you have, so that they kind of make you throw it a little bit. So hopefully we have some good weather that night, but I do think that they present some problems. I think they play hard. Franklin Central, I think the community, the kids, they've always been pretty physical, and they play pretty hard, and tough kids, and So we certainly respect that for sure. I'm sure they'll be ready for us and have some wrinkles for us. The first time we've played them, we generally do better when we've played a team a couple times and kind of know a fingerprint that a coach has, and this is the first time we played this coach. So it'll be a little more of a challenge, I think, than what people may expect. I also would say, you know, they're playing for a winning record in the regular season. They're playing for a winning record in the conference. It's their last game of the regular season, and it's been a great year so far, but the last 2 weeks, they had close games going into the fourth quarter against Fishers and HSE and then ended up getting beat. But those games were extremely close starting the fourth quarter. So we're not taking them lightly.
Well, you know, the one thing about, we've talked about this all year long, up and down that Hoosier Crossroad Conference, you can't take anybody lightly because it's a very, very strong conference. There may be maybe some conferences around the state that are very, very top heavy, but from top to bottom in the Hoosier Crossroad Conference, I'd put this conference against anybody.
Yeah, I mean, these guys were last year, and they easily could be third or fourth this year. They're a good football team. Yeah. They're a good football team, very well. He's done a great job coaching his team.
Yeah, well, he's had a success everywhere he's gone.
Right.
So that's kind of a good pedigree there to have, and he's coached with he's learned from some of the best coaches around, which we know is a great benefit.
For sure.
Well, Coach, I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule and everything, and of course, next week you'll have not only a fall break here, a break for your students, but also you won't be playing next Friday night.
Guarantee we won't lose next week.
Yeah.
Guarantee.
Yeah, guarantee that. But you have the sectional coming up, and the draw is already drawn, and it's Westfield against Noblesville at Noblesville, and Hamilton County TV as planned on broadcasting that game. So we're looking forward to that game over there at Beaver Material Field, and now there'll be one more football game to play on Beaver Material Field.
Yeah, we're excited for that. I think it's pretty much the same draw as last year, really. So we'll see how it goes. We're going to work on Noblesville after this one.
Absolutely,
but
absolutely.
We'll get through this one first. If we win this, we will be the first HCC team ever to go undefeated back-to-back years in the conference. So I think there's only been one team win it outright even back-to-back years, and it was McCutcheon back in 2001 and 2. So it's been a long time because it's such a competitive conference.
Absolutely.
So many great teams, but if we could win this, we could do something no one's ever done.
Well, that's great, Coach. Appreciate you taking time, and good luck this week.
Thanks, Perry. Go Rocks.